All right, and welcome everyone to another episode of the Senpai Kohai podcast. It's your boy Trey Sean, and with me, back from his first ever live filming of a Dojin anime, it is Steven. Steven, how are you doing? How was Sticky Senpai? Are you okay?
That's a terrible way to start the episode. You saw my face when you said that shit, and you couldn't help yourself from laughing. No, I
I've
didn't
been sitting on
film
that
a
all
lot.
day.
Like, really?
I have all
I didn't.
day.
I didn't film anything. God damn it! I did my hair today. That's about the stickiest thing I ever did. Oh, that still doesn't
Yeah, it
sound
gets
good.
it gets worse.
Damn it, Trey! I can't believe you put me through this at the beginning of the episode. It has been like only like a week and a half, 2 weeks since we did anything together, and it feels like it's been months. This is what happens when you have like a weekly podcast and you talk to someone that frequently. It's like, oh, I had all this stuff going on, and so I couldn't do the interview with what is it, Squid Shock Games?
Squid Shock Studio, yeah, for Bo.
God, yeah, I missed out on that, but you did a great job on that front, and it felt like the longest period of time ever. So I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be talking about nerdy shit again. It was all turkey and Black Friday and doom and gloom, but now it's a bright spot on my week, and we get to talk about the things I love. So with that said, where are you at? Like I know you've been playing. You were playing some games last time I talked to you. Did you add more to your repertoire?
I
Um,
have. I've added them digitally. I hopped in on the Black Friday sale. I grabbed me oh boy, what did I get? I got Darkest Dungeon, which I'm actually really excited about. I found out that's a roguelike turn-based RPG, and that's
mhm.
that's right up my alley. I didn't realize that's exactly what that was. So I snagged that. I got Astoria Rising or Astoria Rising. I may be screwing
Astoria Ascending.
Astoria Ascending. That's it. Yeah, and that one
Yeah.
is one I've had my eye on for a bit. Really pretty JRPG, with these long-legged, like their legs are extremely long for some reason,
I knew
like
you were going to say something about that.
almost bug-like people, but they're very pretty, almost like Final Fantasy character looking. But
Yeah,
anyway,
they
they're
definitely have
very,
some ornate looks.
mhm, but very pretty. I'm very excited to get to that one. And I got Death End Request to work on. Um, that's one I'm quasi excited about. The part of me that's not excited is the visual novel half, because I know that the visual novel is heavy in that to a certain extent. So I don't look forward to that as much as I do the rest of it. And I know it's somewhat of a big thing somewhere in some rings. Um, and then me and my brother both got the Pokemon Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond. So
Hell yeah.
working on that now with my Piplup run, and I am having some hiccups. It's not going so smooth. I keep having to stop and grind a little bit, but I'm getting there. What else am I playing?
Well, is it like good lord, that's a hell of a stack. But you
Oh,
you like
I'm not
what
playing
else?
all
You got
those.
something else?
I'm only playing
Oh,
Pokemon. That's just what I got. I'm only
oh good
playing
lord.
Pokemon Pearl and Final Fantasy 13. That's what it is. Right? Yeah, 13.
Yeah, you're playing 13 with Daryl. Like you guys are kind of
Yes.
like playing through it at the same time. And
Mhm.
I think didn't you say you overcame what stopped you from beating the game last time?
Oh yeah. So at the end of one of the early chapters in the first half, there's these two turtle bosses that show up, and you really have to work your paradigm system to beat these guys, which is really kind of the key thing the whole game. You have to know when to flip your paradigms. And when I was a wee lad, I just didn't catch on to that. I must have brooded my way through the game up to that point, and
You don't
finally,
say.
yeah, as I do through most things. And so I finally I finally got to that point, and I was like, all right, here it is. It's you two. And I finally played. I beat it like on my second try. And I was like, oh wow, that's embarrassing. I was just training it up back then. But I've grown as a man, I've grown as a person, and I've beat it. I can do all things now.
I'm so proud of you. Like it's like breaking news. Trey has learned that finesse is what you need for some games to be beaten.
Now if only he could learn to block.
No, except for you do block just with your face.
Yeah, God, my greatest shield.
Yes. Man, I you gotta so you have a stack of stuff to go through, but you do your Pokemon runs pretty quick though.
Normally they
Yeah.
only
You're
last
like,
me probably a week or two, and then I just do them as little breakers in between. Like that's probably only gonna last me not even till Christmas. I would be surprised if I'm doing this in a couple episodes.
yeah, I mean, because I remember you don't spend a lot of time on extra stuff in Pokemon's. You're like power level, get the gym leaders, get the Elite Four, like we're out.
I'm normally too strong. I don't. Well, since I play with only one Pokemon, and I do so it's a Piplup run. Uh,
Yeah.
I the last one I did was Totodile, and my Totodile was just too strong. Everything I hit was a one hit kill anyway. So I'm kind of anticipating after a certain point, my Piplup's going to be the same way. But what's kind of worrying me now is like, and I don't remember this in the first game or the first time I played Diamond and Pearl, but it is a long ass time to get to the second gym.
Yeah,
And
it is.
like, God, this forest is whooping my ass. But the way I'm grinding right now, like I'm already almost level 30 and I'm almost to the second gym. Like I've only got 100 levels and I'm almost at 30. Like I'm going to
Yeah.
be too strong for most of these people already. My peck is incredible. My bubble beam is incredible. Like if I
Oh
get an
man,
ice
yeah.
move and a steel move, these people are in trouble.
Yeah,
But
I got Shining Pearl, as a matter of fact.
so did I.
My partner in crime surprised me with a copy of it. So we are working our way through uh both versions of the game. My only duty as partner in crime in this situation is to give her the Pokemon that she can't get from my game. So a small price to pay,
It's
honestly.
not a hard job.
I
Yeah.
no, it's super easy. I'm playing the game as intended because, believe it or not, I actually am enjoying this in an immense way because of the nostalgia level for me. Like, because we've talked about it before, like on our Pokemon episodes. The only Pokemon I've completed, like done all the way through, was the original Blue,
Hmm.
and I got a decent ways into a few other entries, and then I eventually, get distracted because that's just the way I exist. And getting better at that, by the way, because your boy finished Hollow Knight. Just throwing that out there. We'll talk about that in a second. But
Okay.
this
Okay.
this is a very pretty version of a DS game, and it is. I like it. I like the top down look. I like how kind of simple it is for me to like when I played Sun and Moon and I played like Sword and Shield. Those had a lot of extra stuff in it that really was kind of overwhelming. I remember getting to the weird like I guess like theme park area
Hmm.
in Sun and Moon, and that just like it really distracted me. Like I didn't know what was going on. There were so many systems involved in it. It was just very jarring. Kind of took me out of the game at a couple points, and but it's still a decent game. I still played through a good chunk of it, but then I eventually got distracted. And then Sword and Shield was the 3D version kind of exploration game, and I got lost in a lot again, all the extra stuff you could do. Roaming the field, and like there's all these different towns and shops and systems to work with. I think the daycare is in there, and it's just I don't know. There's a lot on my plate, so I get choice paralysis. But this is like how I felt when I played Blue. It was like, all right, I'm on an adventure. Gym 1, random other side quests. Gym 2, a little bit of a ways and some trains fight. Gym 3, nothing too complex. Now the Grand Underground exists, and that's a thing you can do.
Yeah.
But it's really not required. Like it's just fun for you if you're looking for a specific type of Pokemon. It's just like it's that addition to the game that they put in there to try to justify like the $60 price tag. But ultimately, you can actually ignore it for the most part and just play the game as is. And I thought that was really cool. It's very pretty. I like its simple functions, and I like how they adapted some of the DS like functions with the Pokewatch or whatever it is.
Yeah. The
I thought
Poketch.
that was
Yeah.
pretty
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. It also doesn't make me waste a skill slot on some of my Pokemon for the cut and
The
rock
HM
smash and all
moves.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah, doesn't make me waste it on a Pokemon. I can just, once I've beat the right gym leader, I can be like, push button, a wild Bidoof shows up and does everything because it's only a Bidoof. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. So this is so embarrassing. I cannot say. Is it
It's
Bidoof?
Bidoof.
It's Bidoof, right? I
Bidoof.
keep saying it wrong. Like, like
Some people pronounce
Melissa
it
keeps
Paul.
correcting me. Paul,
Paul
what?
is
Like,
the the German way, but it's pronounced Bidoof over here.
what?
But no, you're good. You got it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm, as you can see, I'm actually like engaged in Pokemon, and I'm enjoying it again, and I like it because it's that old style. Maybe it's a little more approachable for me in like the time frames I had to play it, because I exclusively play it when I'm at my significant other's place, and um we play it together, and she's definitely outpacing me by a small margin, but I only play it over there.
Yeah.
So when I'm back at the house, I do things like finish Hollow Knight finally. Hooray! Um
So
I
before we get to Hollow Knight, what is your
Okay.
team looking like for Pearl right now? What are you running?
Okay. Okay. Uh, that's a good topic, because the team I have is equal parts the things I love and equal parts of whatever the fuck was around at the beginning of the game.
Okay.
So I got Piplup, and I evolved my Pokemon, so
Gross.
I'm up to shut up. You're gross. Sorry, I instantly became 5 apparently. But Prinplup, which is also a weird name. I think
It's
that like somewhere along
Prince.
the way they just get
It's Prince
what
Plup. What do you mean Prince Piplup? What do you mean?
what Piplup,
That's the
and it's a
nomenclature there.
Primplup. Like, is he primping himself? No, it's not. It's
No,
an N, not an
Prince.
M.
He's a prince.
Wait, is so? What's the last one? Is it like Kinglup or something?
Empoleon, like
Oh,
emperor.
it's an emperor thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, like an
Like an
emperor
emperor penguin.
penguin. Yeah,
Penguin. Mhm.
yeah. Picking, it's like, look, I don't know these things. I was proud of myself that I memorized like a portion of the Poker Rap back in the day.
I've got like one
Like
terabyte up here of used Pokemon data. I need to delete it and
it's
put
true.
something useful.
You, you and your brother do have some pretty in-depth knowledge. I will give you that. But my
Go ahead.
team
I'm sorry.
consists of yes, you're interrupting my brainstorming and explaining myself. These aren't even the words I'm intending to use. Prinplup is in there because I do love water Pokemon, and they tend to, especially because it's basically flying and water, and I think he has like a steel move at some
he's
point.
he's gonna be stealing water. Just a heads up. He's not flying. He got a
Look,
couple flying
he's
moves,
got
but
Peck. He's got Peck. It
that's all he's gonna
qualifies.
get. And wing attack. I'm just giving you a heads up. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm fucking talking to the Pokemon like. Uh,
Sorry.
what are you,
I
the
already looked
Pokemon
ahead.
elitist?
I already looked ahead.
You did look ahead. You read ahead in the book. It's not fair. Anyways, I also have a bird Pokemon. I have Staravia because I
Mm.
always loved the bird Pokemon. My strongest Pokemon in the original run was a Pidgeotto. Pidgeot is the last one.
Yeah.
I had a Pidgeot, and it just whooped the shit out of everything back in the day. So I love the bird Pokemon. In Sword and Shield, it's the, what is it, that the Raven that turns into
Oh,
like a scary like mech Raven or
Corviknight.
something like that.
Corviknight.
Yes, Corviknight. Yeah, I have a badass Corviknight that literally just is like 10 levels ahead of everybody else. Anyway, so Prinplup, I got Saravia, my bird Pokemon. I also have Luxio because I like electric. Electric does a number on some other types that the others don't. I have a Houndoom who is fire and poison typically, or those are
Dark.
the
Dark.
whatever dark. Look. I remind you.
You're hurting
I
me.
remind you. I only
You're hurting
beat
me.
one of them. You're hurting me. You're making me feel terrible and
You're
old.
gonna say Pikachu is a psychic type, and I'm gonna shut the podcast down.
Look, I just go by the types of moves I can get, and he does get fire moves, by the way.
I don't know if he gets any point. Yeah, he probably gets toxic or sludge. I
He
don't know.
has
I can see
smog.
that. Smog.
He has
Oh,
smog right
definitely.
now. Really helpful. But I can see that it's probably more dark and fire than anything else. But I have a Houndoom.
Nice.
And then I have I also have my Gyarados. I always keep a Magikarp in the party until I get Gyarados. So I
Wow.
like Gyarados because the water abilities and then the dragon abilities later on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, this is a pretty
I
ace
always
team
do
you
that.
got.
Yeah, so I had, let's see here. I got Prinplup, Staravia, Luxio, Houndoom, Gyarados, and Cricketune at the moment.
Why do you have a Cricketune?
I told you I have a lot of my
Oh,
Pokemon based on whatever was around at the beginning of the game, and there was whatever was it, the Cricketot or
Cricketot.
whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, I I haven't replaced him yet. I have a Mew and a Jirachi. I have a Ponyta. I actually have a multitude of better Pokemon in my
Gods.
box,
You have
and I'm just
gods,
like,
but you kept a Cricketune.
that's right. You know, hey, a bug Pokemon goes a long way sometimes. Actually, not really.
That's never
Most of the time,
that's never
they get
true.
picked off pretty bad. I should really replace the Cricketune.
Yeah, I don't
That's what
even think you have to. You have a pretty good team. It's a pretty good shit you got there.
I never had to bust out the Cricketune. The Cricketune is the sacrificial lamb in most situations.
Like
Like,
he's a threat.
go Cricketune, take a couple hits so these other guys can heal. It's that's literally what it is. I sacrifice him to the enemy. It's like, all right, now I can take a turn and drop a potion on Prinplup, or I can drop a potion on Gyarados and get back out there, guys. Oh, Cricketune died. That's unfortunate.
Oh no, the corpse of your comrade. Somebody get him.
Just step
Jesus.
over the body. It's okay. No one will notice.
Jesus. All
I
right.
keep getting like, I keep having to like actually like, because I get really motivated in fights, and so I'll start talking shit to the trainers I'm fighting. So I keep telling the game, I'm gonna put your Pokemon in the ground, and Melissa turns her head and goes, they're just fainting, and I'm like, yeah, you're going to the ground. Like, I'm just like so pumped for it. And at the end of the battles, they like make little faces. I'm like, that's right, be pissed off, give me your money. Like,
Kick him.
I'm
Kick the
so
Pokemon
aggressive.
and them.
Like, I'm so aggressive. It's really terrifying. Like, I can't play like fighting games either because of the same reason. I still do that. Anyways,
That's what I like doing
okay.
with the single Pokemon. It's just like, that's right. I see you have dragons. Oh, but you didn't think this penguin was gonna do it? You didn't think I was gonna run in your house with this bird? But
Oh
that's what I'm
yeah,
waiting
no,
for.
I'm having a grand old time in the game. I don't regret getting my hands on it. That's for sure.
Yes. But speaking of
But
dead
yes,
bugs and your
as I said
Cricketune,
earlier, yes, but your boy beat Hollow Knight. I did not beat it with the true ending, or I did the basic ending, and I know there's still some other areas to go through and things to do to get like something more complicated. And I'll go back and do it. I will. But I'm happy to say that I did beat it, and I beat it with 69% progression.
it's pretty good. I think
Yeah.
I think I did it with 75, and I think you were only like a couple hours behind me. So
Yeah, no,
we're pretty good.
yeah, I was happy with I loved the game. The game was a blast. I actually want to go back through and kind of try to speed run some shit. Like, I'm definitely not going to be a speed runner. Like, I've seen videos of the speed runners, like I told you, but I want to try to be fast. Like, because you can, there's things you can do to get through areas and unlock certain skills in certain orders, and then still get like your true ending, but faster. And I want to try to do that at some point, but just I'm also, playing Pokemon, and I did. I really wanted to join you and Daryl in Final Fantasy 13. I installed it and everything, and it is fun to harass you that I'm going to play every game but Persona 5. But I finally did boot up Persona 5 again. So, no,
Man,
Persona 5 Royal.
that's a book you need to close.
It
But
is.
man,
I'm really close to closing it. I'm in the content you never played. So I guess you
yeah,
could say
so
you haven't beat it either.
oh, whoa. I beat the base game. I beat the base game. I I just have no frame of reference on where you're at. Like I almost asked you the other day where are you at, but then I remembered you're in the royal content. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna know. I don't know where he's at. I don't know what anything is.
Yeah.
But
I think I still have struggles with this game because I get that every character can lead to a certain thing, but I remember one of the reasons I was having like some issues with the game was like it hurt me to continue to like do things with certain characters, and I'm like, they're like, I'm in love with you, and you're like, nah. Like every one of the female characters is like that. Like they have a moment where you have to basically just break their heart. That's hard. That's hard. I've learned their story. I've experienced their growth as a person, but I'm already dating Anne, so I'm gonna have to break your heart.
For shame. You could have chose Makoto. For
I
shame.
look, I look. You know, upon the day I ever play this game a second time, Makoto's the girl that's coming up next. Like she's pretty awesome. I like her a lot. So,
Since I
but
couldn't choose
I'm
Sai, it was Makoto.
ah, that's right. I remember you had that thing with Sai. I mean, she's awesome. So
Oh yeah.
I like a lot of the characters in this game. They're all fun. Yusuke is just a big
Yusuke is a
dork.
trip. Have you done his
Yeah.
Passion of the Christ scene?
No, no, I haven't.
Oh god.
I've left him alone. Uh, I think like
You need to finish him.
one of the ones I remember is when he's trying to draw this woman and man in a boat, and so like he makes the main character row the boat out onto the lake, and he's drawing the couple, and he's talking about how passionate their love is, and they're
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm just sketching your passionate, fiery love," and they're like, "I mean, I
They're
guess
brother
that's
and
fine."
sister.
Yeah, if you're sketching familial love, and he's like, apparently I know nothing of love. I had no idea they were related. And your character's just there being like experiencing the weird, and he comes up with every reason to be for everything to be acceptable. And it's just a trip every time I mess with his storyline. So but yeah, I'm enjoying the game. I'm almost wrapped up with it, and then I'm gonna jump into some other JRPGs. I have quite, but okay, so this is the dumbest shit ever. I have hundreds upon hundreds of games to play that I've collected over the years, and I have no shortage of games I can start. And for some reason, I was watching something earlier today that reminded me of like some samurai films, and I was like, I want to play Ghost of Tsushima again, like from the beginning, just do all of it again. Don't you?
No. No.
I
Didn't you already
won't.
platinum it?
Yes, I did.
No, you don't replay games you platinum.
I did
That's
everything in that
illegal.
game.
That's
That's not
illegal.
illegal. It is literally an experience like no other. Have you played it?
No, I didn't get to. Not before I got
Yeah.
rid of my PlayStation.
The only way you are gonna I was gonna say I'll let you borrow it, but you don't have a fucking PlayStation.
I'm sure it's coming to I think it is coming to Steam or
Is
PC.
it?
I thought it was.
I know
I'll have to
God of
check on that.
War is yeah, you should because I mean I wouldn't be surprised. Sony's really pushing a lot of their first party stuff over to the PC. Is Spider-Man coming over there too?
No.
I heard about God of War, and I know like Horizon's on there.
Spider-Man has not made its way yet. Spider-Man's
Ah.
still on the PlayStation.
I still
That
can't
one,
find a copy of Miles Morales on PS4 for like a decent price, which is garbage. I'm
hmm,
upset.
I don't I don't think there was a did it come to PS4? Oh, I thought it was just a PS5. For those that don't know, or everyone didn't know, Steven nodded his head.
Yes, sorry.
That was a visual cue.
It was a visual cue that I did not actually use words for because I was taking a sip of something. Um, like I love the Spider-Man game. I actually want to go back and play it on hard because I played most of the main campaign. I kind of powered through just the basics on that one, and I really enjoyed it. But I remember enjoying the fighting system so much. I was like, I want to play this on hard because I was trouncing everything on normal. Like
Yeah,
wasn't really a huge challenge for me.
I
But
I platinumed that one. That was
really,
real good. I really liked Spider Man. That was fun. I haven't gone back for Miles Morales, but I did enjoy Spider Man.
yeah, I it's becoming more of a case where like you know, the more games I want are on PS5. I just wish PS5s were readily available. They're just not. It's a
No,
bummer. I tried to sign up for to be on a list for one, but I didn't get lucky, I guess. So it is what it is. Anyways, so yeah, like I don't I think it was like I finished Hollow Knight. I'm playing Pokemon when I'm at my partner in crime's apartment, and then I'm playing Persona 5. That's it. Uh, that wraps my video games. My video games are wrapped. Oh, I did buy Civilization 6 on my Switch so I can have something to be addicted to on in a portable fashion. I can waste hours on that.
You
I
kill
picked up a
me.
copy. I got it. I got the Messenger because Shane keeps singing its praises. Um,
Yeah,
and then I
I'm
picked up
supposed to be real
Spirit.
good.
I picked up Spiritfarer, which is uh apparently like it's a cozy, easygoing, story based like management game
Hmm.
where you have a boat and you can grow crops and craft things, but then get to know your crewmates and take on quests and travel places and gather resources. And there's a deeper story about you like ferrying, people to the afterlife or something like that. Um, but I'm, you know how much I love my farming games,
Yeah,
and my crafting games. So, but I'm holding off on that. But I picked it up because it was like half price. So yeah, those were my pickups on the sales.
not too shabby.
Not too
The
shabby at all.
the harvest was plentiful for everybody.
Indeed, absolutely. So with that, that kind of wraps up the games. And normally we would go into the things we're watching, but that's literally kind of the meat and potatoes of this episode, isn't it? Is what we've been watching. So how do you feel about this, Trey? Do you think we should start with the bad or the good?
Let's go ahead and get the bad out the way. That way it's gone because I feel like the good is a better note to end on. So I watched this trash called Monster Girl Doctor, and it was just as I said, trash, but I didn't realize how bad it was going to be, and it it looked like it could have been neat. I mean, if you look at the manga art, it's pretty. It's got a unique style to it, and the anime looked like it had a unique style to it. And I think I've talked about it on here before as well, like 2 3 episodes ago. But it just had like no character to it. It had no good fan service to it, no good fun, nothing that would want to bring you back for more, except for with the hope of, please, anything. Good God, what is here? And for the most part, I live tweeted most of the episodes to our Discord, and I was like, okay, guys, here's what's going on. Looks like the snake girl's acting pregnant. Oh, she's not pregnant. It's just a harpy. Turns out it's a harpy egg. Nope, she's a phoenix. Phoenix is in love. It's a bird harem, and it's just it was awful. There was nothing.
Bird harem.
It was a bird harem.
That's so. I remember this specifically because I could not help but notice that every Monster Girl had like a titty window shirt on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone was dressed the
every one of
same,
them. Yeah,
and
everybody wore the same outfit. Like they had the collar, and then it cut down like a diamond wide, and then cut. So you just get the cleavage in the middle, but like
yeah.
like there's no support in those bad boys. But yeah, like for a show with like absolutely the titty window quotient was high. Uh, there was no fan service, really.
None. And I mean, I mean, if you say cleavage, yes, but I mean, like, there was, and I'm trying to think of how best to describe this. So I've said it before. There was no bounce to the ounce, and there just wasn't. Like, how do you have a fan service anime and things don't bounce? That doesn't make any sense. The only things that were made to move weren't even the boobs. It was the tentacles on the creatures that were all CGI'd, and it was awful. They were all done in set patterns that would just move and move again. If you just looked at the screen too long, you would see it. That was the only motion that would happen. That was the only bounce with ounce, and I hated it. Every time I see CGI, I would be pissed because it just wasn't fun. I don't know.
So so in theory, the reason you hated it was CGI motion in the ocean, but no bounce with the ounce.
Can I get that on a hat? Can I get that on a damn hat? Too much
Look,
motion in the
all I know
ocean,
is
no
it's very
bounce
clear
in
you're
the
an
ounce.
opie boy.
I am, but when they don't move,
Opie
something's
boy
wrong.
alert.
Something is wrong, especially a in this anime, because like if you look at Monster Musume, they never stop moving. Like it is constant motion. But like here, every image was static, and nothing was
Mm.
really. I'm trying to think of the best way to articulate this, but nothing was fully animated, like mouths, arms, chest, body. Like even the snake girl in Monster Musume, she slithered, she moved around. This girl would
Mhm.
barely move around, and if she did, it was from a distance, and it was CGI, and it was
And it
awful,
wasn't good. Yeah, it
and
wasn't
it
good.
wasn't
Did it do
great.
that whole
No,
thing where you get the still image and it like pans from the right to the left and like there's someone talking in that scene, but they're not talking
yes,
on screen. It's just like everybody's standing in the room and the camera essentially is like panning from right to left, and maybe at the end of that pan you get like a little bit of the mouth flap, but for the
yeah,
most part the last like minute and a half has been just talking and like a slow pan over a still image. Yeah, that's some budget animation kind of stuff going on there, and I've seen it in plenty of things, man. But so you mentioned the bounce with the ounce. I'm clearly not up on the lingo of you, Kohai. I learned the
I
word
think I
drip the
made
other
that
day, and
up.
I think
Don't use that anywhere
like
else. You may get bullied.
like trademark that shit. You better get on it. Um, but yeah, I learned the word drip the other day, and it scared all the young people I work with. So I guess I can't say things that young people say anymore.
You got to
But
be careful. I mean, you don't want to say drip in like a plumber area, just in case. But I guess I don't know what's the context.
like I don't know. Like I kind of get the concept of drip as a phrase. It's just like a new way of saying like good fashion.
Yeah,
There was all kinds of stuff like that during the 90s and 80s, and there's always a generational thing. But boy, do I love just scaring young people by saying their lingo.
yeah,
And I try to dad it up as much as humanly possible to make it even worse. So it's a lot of fun for me at work. Like I get a little bit of entertainment in like scaring the young kids at work that I know what they talk about. Um, so that's fun. It's scary. They're terrified that I know what TikTok is. They're like, "Oh God, Steven knows what TikTok is." I'm not dead. Like what the fuck?
I'm a lot.
But
I'm a
anyway,
being.
like I can look at things. I'm on the internet. Like fucking Christ.
Yeah,
Anyways, yeah, you're bouncing the outside. So it reminded me a total tangent there. I apologize. There is a series. Have you ever heard of a series called Burn Up W?
burn up W.
Yeah, it's called Burn Up W. There's the other one that was just Burn Up, and then there was another series that was Burn Up W. But one of the most famous things about Burn Up W is them opis and the bounce to the ounce that they got. Um, they actually released it. ADV released it back in the day with a jiggle counter as an extra for the DVD.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Like I'm
That
dead serious. Like a little pair of boobs would pop up on the top right of the screen or something, and it'd have a counter, and like every time she moved and it jiggled or something like that, it was like ding ding.
that's funny. That's
Oh my gosh!
and I know you haven't watched Dragon Ball Abridged yet, but
No,
there's a death count for Krillin in in Dragon Ball Abridged for every time he dies, and it dings every time. I like this animation for Burn Up W. I'm looking at it
yeah,
now. This
I
is some
I
classic
love that era,
'90s looking
man.
stuff,
Yeah, I love that era.
but I don't think I've
I'm
seen
super
this
nostalgic.
anywhere.
I'm super nostalgic for some of the older stuff lately. And don't get me wrong, it's not better. There's still a lot of dumb shit from the 90s and
Hell yeah!
the early 2000s. Like okay, let's see if look up the title Amazing Nurse Nanako.
Oh boy. Oh,
There's some
I'm in verb. I'll have to do that. I'll have to do that another time.
you have to do
But
that later. Yeah.
before we do that, speaking of anime,
Hmm.
oh, before we get to you and your goodness, so I'm actually watching. Uh, I finished Monster Girl Doctor. It didn't get any better. They 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 created a awful love triangle between, or sorry, a lust triangle between three creatures, the snake girl, the spider girl, and the horse girl, that all lusted after the doctor, who had no affection or interest in anybody but being a doctor. So nobody cared about anything. It was all just lust, whatever. No one cared.
I was going to ask you, like, is there an actual overarching plot at some point, or is he just uncaring? Like, he has no actual personality of his own.
He has no personality. I mean, I'm a good doctor, and that's it. I just do good things. And I was talking to my brother about it. And the thing about that makes Monster Musume really fun, I don't know if we've talked about it here, but like, that guy, he has to choose someone that he's going to wed. And he also has to house all these monsters in his house. And so he has a choice, but he also has obligations and duties to all of these women. And so watching him juggle this is really fun and entertaining for him, because he gets stressed out and struggles with this every episode as a new one gets introduced.
Yeah.
But in Monster Girl Doctor, it's just, oh, I got a call out. Oh, looks like it's a ditzy cyclops with low self-esteem, which was literally the episode. And so he had to figure out how to help her, and it turns out it was just something in her ear. It was awful. And he didn't it was, I don't even know where I'm going to go with that.
Whoa.
It
I
frustrates me so much. But
I remember reading Monster Musume as a manga first, and I was impressed that there was definitely some, fun fan service things and stuff like that, but it actually did address like a storyline and like how he thought about each of the girls and what he should do in those situations. And I thought it was really unique. I still haven't watched the anime, which is so sad. I've only read the manga. At
I'm
least I think it was that one.
I'm devastated.
You're devastated. Okay, fine. I'll order the steel book of the series and then I'll watch it.
Order 2.
Order 2.
Order 2.
All right. Oh,
Golly.
I'm sorry you had to sit through that. I'm sorry you had to experience it. Like, I was hoping at least there was like some like little plot line or something, but that sounds like
There was, but it ended up being him saving the dragon lord of the city from a tumor that she had. And the only thing he got from it was saving her, but now she has this brother complex with him. And so she went around for the last 2 episodes calling him Big Brother Doctor or something. And he just had to fend her off. And I was like, this is the payoff? This is what I get for watching the show? Is a big brother complex? And that's it. I was offended. It
yeah.
was, I could
I'm
have
sorry.
just
There's
jumped out of
shows like
traffic.
that, by the way. We all have shows like that you just get to the end of it and you're like, wow, I can't get those 6.5 hours back.
No, I had a better time at the end of Neon Genesis Evangelion than I did
Oh, that's right.
at the end
Yeah.
of Monster Girl Doctor. Because at least this one
Wow. Yeah.
at least Evangelion put me in like a mental state of, I hate myself. But Monster Girl Doctor put me in a state of, I hate everything.
You hate everybody else. I hate everything. Well, I understand that. I have some shows like that too. Oh God, I have some series that I remember starting, getting halfway through, and I was like, I hate it. I'm gonna watch the rest of it.
Yeah, you're already committed.
Yeah, like if I put 3 hours in, what's 3 more hours?
Yeah,
That's probably a bad and unhealthy way to think, if I'm being honest with myself.
but
But
someone has to
it's
champion through it. Someone has to watch this for the people, so you can
that's
share
right.
with them, hey, this is bad. Don't
Yeah,
do it. I
we
know
do
you
the
added it.
work.
Yeah.
We do the work. We do the work. That we do the work of God. Okay, maybe not that,
No,
but
no,
we do
that
the work of
this is
Weebs.
the Lord's work. People may think we're not crusaders, but we are of
So
sorts.
heads up, guys. Heads up, guys. Monster Girl Doctor is a big effing no. Don't waste your time.
And if I catch you adding it to your watch list, I will show up and I'll slap your hand
Just
and I'll slap you. don't don't you add
threaten that violence, Trey. That's how you're really gonna get up.
it. So
All
after
right.
that,
So
oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
I decided to start something wholesome, and I went through all of Verve, updated my watch list with everything that looked good to me, and I decided to start Somali and the Forest Spirit. instead.
Oh, that's right.
And so I'm like 2 3 episodes in on that. It's nice. I could tell there's going to be a real bad heartbreak at the end. Um,
Hmm.
but it's good. I like it. Good wholesome stuff. Something to live for in this one. So I'm cool with it.
All right. So something good, something good, something good. You should also watch TZ Master Takagi. Have you heard of this series?
Yes, but I can only ever find season 2. I can never find season
Really?
1. Yeah, or at least that's the way it's shown on like Netflix. Because Netflix has
Mm.
season 2, not season 1. I may have to check my verve on that. But
Yeah, you need to check your verve on that. That show is so good. It's such a like a wholesome show.
mhm,
Um, I've read the manga. I collect the manga. They actually have a sequel manga, and where they're adults, and it's super sweet too. And yeah,
teasing
it's
master Tanaka Shippuden. Is that what it is? No? Okay. I'm sorry. I'll leave.
I
I'll go ahead.
like I'm offended that you forgot the name of the series in the span of about 30 seconds. I'm offended
I
at you,
forgot.
sir.
I forgot more and less. Don't don't be too
It's
offended.
true. We've hung out. I know. Um, but yeah, check out TZ Master Takagi Kun or Takagi Kun. I don't know why I threw Kun on there. Anyways, that's a great, cute series. So all right, we've hit your bad, and
Give me
we've
the
also seen
good.
what you're. We're bouncing back with a little bit of good, but I binged Star Wars Visions on Disney Plus, which is, if you don't know, an anthology of shorts, animated shorts on Star Wars. It's basically a bunch of really famous anime studios got to do like somewhere around like 15 to 20 minute little short animations set in the Star Wars universe. They like just like go wild with it. And I've been, some of my friends watched it like right when it came out, and I kind of been putting it off, and kind of wanted to make sure I had time to sit down and watch it all. And so that's what I did today. I watched all 9 of these little shorts, and I gotta say, I was remarkably impressed with how good it was. Some of the To give you a highlight of some of the stuff is, I'll kind of do a quick one. The first episode is the duel, and it's essentially kind of like it's kind of like made to be like an old school like samurai film. Villages being harassed by bandits, which are actually just stormtroopers left behind after the collapse of the empire. And it turns out that there's a wandering Ronin who shows up to town with a droid, and he's just kind of hanging out. Village gets attacked by bandits of stormtrooper variety. They have a Sith leader with them, and the Ronin joins in on the fight and duels the Sith fighter. And there's some other plot points to it I'm just not going to spoil, but it's amazingly animated, and it's 3D CG. It's done by Kamikaze Dolga, who do the opening animation for JoJo. That sort of like
Ooh.
hand drawn manga panel kind of quality, but the 3D version of it.
Yeah.
And the animation really stands out here. The action is fantastic in it, and the English dub is pretty good. I like there's a lot of famous people across the board that did voices for the English side of this. You have Neil Patrick Harris in one of them, Alison Brie, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, uh, good lord, David Harbour's in one of them. They there's a lot of really famous names in the English side, but
Yeah.
that really kind of doesn't matter. Like honestly, it's clearly the voice acting direction was really well done. It sounds good. Um, but this duel is really well animated. But my favorite thing about this first little short, the duel, is it looks like the old school black and white kind of like samurai films. But the animation, the kind of hand drawn stuff, it makes it look like somebody drew pencil on all these characters. Like it looks like charcoal or like pencil, and like someone did an eraser on some sections to kind of like fade in the actual like lines into like kind of a blurry white gray mess. And it's all done really, really well. And it's an extremely good little short. I recommend, like, it's one of my favorite ones in the entire line. After that, you get to
Ooh.
episode. Yo,
Before you go to the next one, did you see the opening for JoJo Part 6 that dropped? The
no,
Stone Ocean
I
one?
didn't get to see it.
Dude, it looks good.
It's
Looks really good.
it really.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to finish watching JoJo. I'm on part 3.
Yeah, me too.
I'm so
I
far
need to I
behind.
need to catch up.
I do need to catch up. Like all the talk of it has me excited. Like I'm wondering if I can. Like I've binged 2 things in the span of 4 days. I bet
That's
I
a
can
lot of
get the rest
power.
of JoJo.
That's a,
It's-
that's like 80 episodes.
yeah, but I don't know. Like I clearly have started making bad time management choices, and I think I can keep going.
Uh, I I
Your face
I
when I said that.
I'll endorse it, I guess, as long as you're multitasking. If you listen to a dub and play a game, you're doing good. I'll
I'm
endorse
doing
that.
that. I look. I had to accept the fact that if I want to get on Kohai's level of optimization, it's got to be dubs. So
Oh
I
yeah.
can work out and watch a dub. I can work on varying other things on my computer while watching a dub. I can clean while I watch a dub. I can play video games while I watch a dub. So I've started to get on your level, man. I've started to get there,
Oh
but
yeah.
we're not there yet. Anyways, episode 2 of Star Wars Visions is actually probably the weakest one,
Oh.
honestly. Um, it's it's done by like it's kind of done like everybody's sort of chibi in it. Like Boba Fett shows up in this episode, but he's kind of like squat and kind of like cutesy anime to a certain degree. Um, it's basically about this Padawan who escapes. One of the younglings escaped, and
Oh,
he
thank
ends up
God.
being kind of yeah. He gets taken in by like this hut, um, like the kind of like slug kind of creatures that Jabba is, and
Mhm.
he joins his band, and so there's this band that's getting chased by Jabba the Hutt, and so uh, they end up like putting on a show and managing to avoid getting killed. I think the reason it's so weak is because it's just kind of meandering. It doesn't quite have a decent pace. But the second thing is like I also had a problem with it because they do have the English voice actors sing the song at the end of the episode, and it's very clearly a Japanese style song that they've tried to translate into English. And don't get me wrong, I admire that work. Like I don't want to shit on any musician. I'm a musician. I It's not easy. But for me, it's really also hard whenever like it's clearly the song was written with a certain style and a certain language in mind, and trying to translate that into English, it's noticeable.
Mhm.
It's really well animated. It's really cool. Like it looks really nice. It's all set in Tatooine. It's called Tatooine Rhapsody. Um, but it's just very noticeable that it's a Japanese song being sung in English, and that kind of took me out of it a little bit. And yeah, it was cute. It was a cute little short. It's probably the weakest one out of the entire line. And of course, after that, we get to number 3 by Studio Trigger. We all know Trigger. We know how
Yeah,
much
oh
I
yeah.
love Trigger. And
We
this one is
all
called
we
The
all praise
Twins.
him.
Yeah, this one is called The Twins, and this is so Studio Trigger has 2 shorts in this thing, and this is the one that looks like Promare. This is the one that looks like Kill la Kill. It's the like basically you have these twins that were made to be like ultimate dark side, warriors, and they get the was it the Kyber crystal, and it's supposed to be used to power like a Death Star like planet destroying laser, but one of the twins is like gung ho dark side, like let's freaking do this, and the other one's kind of like, nah, I kind of want to do whatever I want. And so like he steals the crystal they're going to use to kind of like reinvigorate the empire or whatever. And so the
Okay.
twins start fighting, and they start fighting in space with wild lightsaber shit and everything. Like it's just so Trigger.
It's so
Like
Trigger. That
it
reeks of
absolutely,
Trigger.
like the angles, the glitz, the craziness. Like I just like there's more to it than that, and there's a reason why one of them is one way and one of them is the other way, and they do manage to cover that pretty quickly in the episode. I'm not really going to spoil it because I still want you to go watch it, but it is Trigger, and it's that same over the top wild shit. The Twins is the one they put on the front of everything, and they should have, because it looks beautiful and it's really well done. After that is number 4 is The Village Bride, and it's kind of this Jedi gets called to this kind of other world by a friend, and they're having a wedding, and you find out about their closest with nature and Of course, that closeness with nature makes them also capable of understanding the Force, even though they don't know it is the Force. And it turns out there's this, group of not bandits, but they call them separatists or whatever. And they've learned how to use some of the old republic's like attack drones,
Yeah.
and so they're demanding to hold the chief as collateral, so they can basically exploit the rest of the planet and all this for resources. And the daughter of the chief offers herself up, and so she's getting married to the one of the guys from the village that and there's this Jedi that's kind of like got her face hidden behind a mask and just kind of observing everything and their customs, and it's really cool. It's really well done in a way that it looks interesting. And in the end, of course, the one with the mask kind of like steps up to kind of help them so they don't have to give away their chief's daughter, and like the couple doesn't end up getting in trouble. And it's got some pretty cool action. It looks really good. That one was decent. It was a little bit it's really well animated, because pretty much everybody involved in this whole process is just these are like top tier animation companies. I think that one was Production IG. Production IG
Oh,
IG did that one.
they
Yeah,
got
and it
hmm,
looks great. Yeah, no, they got some.
got
Oh
the
no, that
names.
wasn't Production IG. Yeah, Production IG did another one on there. I apologize, I forget exactly. This might be Studio Coloride or something like that. Um, but it looked really fantastic. I liked the end because like it's just kind of like an epic moment. It's very like samurai sort of thing. Uh,
Mhm.
it was really well done, but it's also kind of very predictable. So I was like, all right, that was fun. Uh, there's another one called after that called The Ninth Jedi, and that one's done by Production IG, and it's basically about how this message goes out to all these Jedi across the galaxy after all of them have been purged, that you need to come here and I'll give you a lightsaber, because lightsabers are gone from the universe because of the purge. And it's basically about this lightsaber smith and his daughter basically is tasked with taking these lightsabers to this group of Jedi that was summoned. And she ends up getting chased, of course, like, and she can use a lightsaber, and it's a really cool idea, is like she has no color to her lightsaber, and she can jump around, she can fight with it, she can use it the way it's supposed to be used, but it has no color because she hasn't really learned how to connect to the force in a way that it really shows her. And I think that's a really cool concept. And of course, things go awry, and she eventually ends up in a fight, and her lightsaber does change color to match what she is. I'm not going to say anything because it's actually you know important to the plot. But yeah, she ends up kind of going through that, and it's got some really cool action scenes. Um, the action scenes for that episode are top notch, and it's Production IG, so I'm not too surprised. But that one was one of my favorites that I got to watch. What else was there?
No, there's a lot
Um,
here. These all
yeah,
sound
no,
really cool.
there's another one that's got like it's got an Astro Boy vibe to it. It's a TOB1 is a droid that is created and you know taught by this professor, and you eventually find out that the professor was a Jedi, and but he was in hiding, of course, and trying to like terraform a planet. And so the things happen, and then the kid kind of the kid Astro Boy style kind of like robot ends up finding like a message from the professor after some stuff happens, and he calls him Toby. And so he ends up fighting the robot ends up fighting a Sith, and it's got a really cool like kind of specific vibe to it, and it's it's got a decent amount of action, but it's more about like the character and like kind of the style.
Mhm.
So it's a very much a kind of a showcase of animation and style in that episode, and less content. It's like it's not nothing amazing, but it's more about how they animate it that's kind of unique. My only issue with that episode is the fact that the music direction is a little weird. I don't know if it's supposed to be weird on purpose, but it's also animated by Science Saru, which, if you don't know, is the studio that Masaaki Yuasa founded with another creator. And I don't know if have I talked to you about Masaaki Yuasa?
Maybe the name sounds familiar.
So he's the one that does all the like really bizarre, weird version of animation in Japan movies. He does The Night a Short Girl Walk On, Lou Over the Wall, Devilman Crybaby, and it's got all that kind of unique design, and it gets very trippy at times. So
Hmm.
that's kind of like the feel from this episode, and that episode is literally called TOB1, which is Toby, and it's got a cool little story, and it wraps up pretty nicely. The sound direction's on a little weird, but overall, still better than the weird Tatooine Rhapsody like concert one.
Yeah,
Good lord, where am I at? I got a cool little list here, so let me
something
pull
to
that up.
break down the episodes.
Yeah, just because like I'm trying to remember all the because I watched all 9 back to back to back to back, and so the here we go, Star Wars Visions.
It's nice to know that they don't exactly or directly tie into anything to the movies. That was something that held me up from
Mm,
really watching and getting invested because I didn't want to mess with
mhm.
the lore or canon in my head, I guess, to where I felt like I needed to watch one of the side shows that have come out or are about to come out or anything like that.
So that's what's unique about this is each one is clearly set in a different style, a different time period of the story, and there's actually stuff in alternate history. So none of it is technically canon as of right
Hmm.
now. There is one I really 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 want to be canon or at least get its own show, which I will get to. Let's see here. Episodes. Okay, I get to the Duel, Tatooine Rhapsody, the Twins, the Village Bride, the Ninth Jedi, Toby. The Elder. So this is the other one. The Elder is another one basically animated by Trigger, but this is Trigger's like mature side of development. So it's not the main guy that does like Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. It's some of their other team members, and it's very much more like very defined artwork, very almost kind of realistic, and it's basically about this Jedi master and his Padawan. They go to this planet. Padawan clearly wants to be like more in action, and the Jedi Master's like, well, you really don't want to do that. And so they show up to this planet. Apparently, they felt some evil force, ancient evil force, on the planet, and they're kind of investigating. And the Padawan goes out looking into stuff, and they run across this old guy who is basically a Sith master, and he tries to the Padawan realizes this is a bad situation, so he tries to escape. But the Elder basically is like this like hardened like Sith fighter. He has 2 lightsaber blades that look like little short swords, and he just
Oh,
does some pretty crazy acrobatics. It's got really good fight choreography in this one. And so his Padawan gets injured by the Elder to drag out the Master because the guy just wants to fight somebody strong, and he knows that there's somebody stronger in the Force on the planet. So of course the Master goes out there and fights this Elder guy, and it's a pretty cool fight because they do something in this fight that I've always wondered, why don't you do this thing? And that is okay. So like when they go to strike and they block with the other sword.
yeah.
Well, that's what happens in this one is like he kind of like blocks his lightsaber with one of the little blades during the fight, and he kind of gets distracted for a second, and the master like I don't care about spoiling this one, so suck it up. The master undoes the lightsaber, like draws it back into the blade, drops it down, and then puts it on his chest and turns it on.
Yeah.
Like so
Just pops it
so like that
open.
I've always yeah, like I've always wondered that. Why don't you turn it off and then on to like avoid some of these like guard blocks? Like he's like, we're pushing against each other. I'm blocking you. He gets distracted. He's like off, and he's like, boop, got you in the heart. Die, motherfucker. Like, sorry, I got really aggressive there. But yeah, it's like, and then of course the Padawan learns, oh, maybe I shouldn't overset my boundaries. And it's a fun little short. I don't think there's really much to it, but it's clearly set in a period where the Jedi haven't been purged. So as you can see, the timeline for each of these is different. Like
Hmm.
the creators of these, like the writers of each short were given like free reign. It was like, don't worry about any of the weird like storylines. Don't worry about canon. Don't worry about licensing. Just do what you want.
Yeah.
And that one was really, really good. And this next one, this is episode 8 before number 9. And this one is called Lop and Ocho.
Uh,
This is the one where everybody makes jokes about now you're a furry, because it's basically set in this planet where there's like this family, like a clan that a very Japanese kind of clan sort of situation, and uh there's this kind of, slave rabbit type species character named Lop, and she's stealing food, and she gets caught by the head of this clan and his daughter, and the daughter kind of forces her dad to like kind of sort of adopt Lop as her sister, because she's in trouble, and so that's literally the beginning of it. And then it shows later on that as adults, like 7 years later, as adults, like Lop is a member of their family, and her sister Ocho is kind of like on the side of the empire, like we need to do this with the empire, and the dad's like, no, we did this stuff before without the empire, they're trying to take over, you have to see this. And the daughter and him just going head to head, and of course Lop being the like devoted, like she was taken in from being a slave street urchin into a very prominent house, so she respects both her father, her pseudo father, and her sister, and she wants them all to be a family because it means so much to her. And like
mhm.
basically they're dividing, this is a very like traditional like samurai kind of storyline, and the daughter ends up cutting off her hair and joining the empire, and the father is like trying to fight back, and the rabbit sister uh is trying to figure out how to make everything work. And in the process, because the original daughter is supposed to be the successor to the family, and so she's looking out for the future, even though she's kind of misguided. It's really like it really relies on you to just believe that this person is like blindly not using their head, but whatever. So the dad gives the rabbit creature the family heirloom, which is a sword. Can you guess what kind of sword it is?
A lightsaber?
It is a lightsaber. Ah, yes, you're right.
Wow.
And so the story continues on, and like her dad and her sister, like they go to meet and talk, and then explosions happen, and she goes and chases them down, and she gets there, and the dad and the daughter are fighting, and she's got like this crazy like multi-piece like bladed sort of like weapon, and he's got something else he's fighting with, and she ends up taking him out, and then Lop shows up and busts out the lightsaber, which is of course in the shape of katana, not really like your traditional round lightsaber, like it's like a katana. And of course that pisses off the sister, and she's trying to convince her to join back in. I'm spoiling the heck out of this, I don't care, but it's amazing, it's really really well animated. And the two sisters end up fighting because you find out that basically her species is connected to the force, because she basically is fighting with the lightsaber katana against her sister, and then pulls like the other weapon that her father had, and then fights back against her. They do some crazy acrobatics and shit like that, and it literally ends with the sister getting kind of like kind of topped by Lop, but then you think she's dead, and she like fell off the edge, and then it shows her standing on the front of like a cruiser, and comes up out of the space that she supposedly fell in, and they just kind of eyeball each other, and like that's it, like clearly there's
Ooh,
more to the
man.
story. Yeah, it's really really cool. Like, and the hard part is like selling this via audio is a little challenging, because like the action is so fluid, it's really really well done. And that like the whole experience was really really good. That story right there just had a lot of potential, and it's very anime, but it's well paced, and the action is really good. And I like the character of Lop. She's altruistic, she wants the best for everyone she cares about, but she does what she has to, and I thought that was really really nifty. Also Ocho's a spoiled little bitch, but whatever. uh Bunny Girl Jedi is the best.
Huh.
But last but not least, there's the episode which is Akakiri, um, and it's basically about this guy who returns to a forbidden love interest that he had, that is a princess of a planet, after one of the members of the royal family turns out to be like a Sith, and is like taking over, and he comes to help her, and there's like a little bit of a journey and things like that, and then there's kind of a twist towards the end. It was kind of boring, but it has Masaaki Yuasa's like pretty unique art style to it. And that one was just like, the ending is cool, but it's like, oh, that's unexpected. Now what? But it's a short, so it can't really go anywhere. So that one, I was like, so in terms of like performance of that series, like the shorts, I'd say like a good 6 out of the 9 are like top tier, and the other 3 are just kind of like, okay. Um, I'd say one of my favorite things about it is just like the sound direction is fantastic. You get some of the classic John Williams music in there, but kind of like changed. Like on in the first episode of the Duel, they have Duel of Fates from Star Wars Episode 1.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a specific version of it. And then they have some of the John Williams like soundtrack stuff like kind of adapted with like Japanese style instruments in some of the episodes.
I
Like it's
wonder
a lot.
if you look at a lot of the Disney movies that are produced now, every single one of them uses Skywalker sounds. So I wonder if they were able to outsource to Skywalker for these anime
Oh yeah.
studios to use this.
I wouldn't doubt it. Like it looked like they gave them every resource to like whether it be like designs, because one of the interesting things about the twins is at the beginning of the twins, each of them has a suit that's very Darth Vader like to facilitate this like kyber crystal kind of thing weapon, and it's all supposed to go through them using their dark side power.
Mhm.
And one of them looks like the original like prototype drawings of Darth Vader's outfit. Like I don't know if you ever seen that? Like the mask was much more pointed
I
in
don't think
the
I
original
have.
prototypes. Yeah, it looks super evil in the original like kind of like production art. And they
Mhm.
kind of toned it down and made it a little more square in some places, but the original one looks like very pointy, very evil, very scary. And they clearly got a chance to look at that and really adapt it for their own designs, and it was really well done. There's fun shout outs throughout the whole thing. There's like a pod racing, like the bit
Hell
in the
yeah.
episode Tatooine Rhapsody. They're performing at a pod racing circuit, and like they're about to do a pod racing thing, and it's like they get to perform. The one of the twins, the twin that is technically good, it wears an outfit after he gets knocked out of his body, his special suit. He wears an outfit remarkably similar to Han Solo's outfit.
Oh,
um
just subtle little
yeah
Easter
there's
eggs throughout.
yeah there's like just like fun, like clearly these folks love Star Wars and they wanted to like really show wear that love on their sleeve, and I appreciate that. It was a lot of fun. It's worth it, the like 2 to 2.5 hours it takes to watch all of them, to just check it out, and you'll see some great animation work. I mean, not just
Mhm.
Trigger, like the Kamikaze Doga ones are good. I really liked Production IG's work. The action in Production IG's short is just top notch. It is one of the best there is. um to kind of wrap up, the only thing I have to say at the end of this is really the fact I really wish they didn't rely so heavily on the Jedi and the Sith, because there's a wealth of other type of characters in the Star Wars universe, like bounty hunters and crime syndicates and things like that. And it doesn't have to all be lightsabers and force powers. I guess you can do some more with it, especially in like the 15 to 20 minute range that you have. But it would have been cool to see stuff like that, or maybe some cool like spaceship battles or
Yeah.
something.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be
And that's
cool.
my only. It's my only qualm. I'm not saying it's bad. I noticed there was a remarkable amount of Jedi and Sith, and then the kyber crystals that are used in lightsabers come up in like all but like 3 of them. Like it's you'll be like, okay, I see a pattern here. I see a pattern, but it is by no means a bad batch of stuff to watch. I hope we either get a second round of shorts, or maybe they can adapt La Pinocho's story, because that shit just has so much potential to be really really good. Um, so I hope, and I spoiled some things. I hope you guys can forgive me, but it's still worth the watch. The animation alone, I can't sell the animation with words alone. You need to go watch it. So yeah, but with Star Wars Visions out of the way, we get to the meat and potatoes of what I want to talk about, and that's Arcane. Oh my god.
Big fella. No.
Yeah, we can't. We can't.
No.
We gotta say that for another episode. Uh All right. Well, we've covered a lot today with Star Wars Visions and Yeah, no, it's great. You need to just like drop in a couple each night. Like they're
Mhm.
literally tops 20 minutes. The longest one is 21 minutes.
Very
Um,
digestible is how it sounds.
yeah, and you don't, and that's the great thing about it. You don't have to know there's some things here and there that if you watch Star Wars in its entirety and know all the things about it, you're like, oh, that's cool. That's a nice little Easter egg that I saw in the background. But ultimately, you just need to know that there's space wizards and space knights, and yeah, they're fun in their own way. I mean, hell, the duel's pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, definitely worth a watch, and I recommend it to everybody to check out. That was a smart move on Disney's part. It was a good use of the resources available to them, and bringing in what is, because we know anime is big now. Anime is huge now. There is a huge market for it. You got services like Netflix, Amazon, and our traditional anime streaming services out there. They're trying to get in on this.
Yeah.
And Disney was smart. They pulled some of the finest in the business. I think the only thing they could have really done more is somehow managed to get a studio Mappa to do a short. And health, it's Disney, so there's a good chance that could still happen.
If
But
they weren't so busy
yeah,
with Chainsaw Man, I'm sure they'd be down.
God damn it, I'm so excited for
I'm sure
Chainsaw
that's
Man.
their priority. I'm sure Mickey Mouse couldn't pull them away from Chainsaw Man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Chainsaw Man is gonna have the same kind of vibe as Jujutsu Kaisen in
Yeah.
terms of like action and gore and things like that. I think it's gonna be really awesome. Fingers crossed, because I read the manga and I was blown away, and I hope that Mappa can really step it up. But we will call it a night there. I'm gonna put you to bed, Trey, because it looks like you're halfway there. And
I am.
with that, we will wrap it up for the night. We want you guys to check us out on your typical podcast platforms. We're talking Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and all those other places you might find us, because I'm pretty sure we're there. And if you want to talk to us, hit us up on Twitter at Senko Podcast. We're kind of spreading our wings. We're trying to expand our horizons, if you will. Talk to us, ask us questions. We'll give you some answers. And if you don't ask us questions, we're still going to tell you things anyways. I hope you enjoyed the show. And Trey, you ready for bed?
I don't even know what to say.
I hit you with that radio DJ energy, and you were not ready for it.
You did. God, that was fast. That was a lot. Now, just send in the next mix. But no, that was it. That was it. Yeah, I think you said everything. We're on Instagram,
Yeah,
Facebook, Twitter. We're posting on all those.
absolutely. We're even putting up business cards at your local businesses. We're ready for everything. But
We are
for
hopefully a
now,
website
we're ready for
up by
bed.
the beginning of the year.
Hmm.
More to follow on that. And
Hmm.
let's see. I want to say we'll have more updates as we go. But yeah, Steven, I think that's it. Let me get under the covers.
All right. Good night,
All
buddy.
right. Good night. Bye.
Bye.